Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So we are going to continue reading from Srimad Bhagavatam. We are on Canto 6, Chapter 1, Text 40. We had started reading the purport by Srila Prabhupada. We are in the middle of this purport of Text 40. So does anyone remember where we were?
We were reading that how Yamadutas were about to pull out the soul, and then they asked, and then Vishnu Dutas come, and then they ask that, who are you? Like, why you're not letting us in? Then they described, and then we also read about their features, how they looked. It was described in detail. And then they also asked that, like, do you know what dharma is? Like, what is the dharma that you should take someone's soul? Then what is the dharma about that? And this was what we were reading. They were describing, like, what is the procedure that how you punish somebody. So the Vishnu Dutas are inquired from the Yamadutas that, can you tell us that what it is? Who actually deserves to be punished? Do you know that? Everybody, or the one who do the sakam karma, or all of them? So they were asking about that, who actually deserves to be punished. And the Yamadutas were answering in the 40th one.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, so they are saying that dharma is whatever is mentioned in the Vedas, whatever is the word of God, and whatever is not, that is irreligion. And then Prabhupada explains us that religion means following Krishna's instruction. Krishna is saying in Bhagavad Gita, Sarva Dharmam Parityagya, just surrender unto me. So surrender unto Krishna, that is dharma. And surrender begins when we chant the holy name. That is our beginning of surrender to Krishna. So we'll continue to read from the purport by Srila Prabhupada. Dharma is not actually manufactured by Narayan. As stated in the Vedas, Asya Mahato Bhutasya Nishvasitam Etad Yadrigveda Iti. The injunctions of Dharma emanate from the breathing of Narayan, the supreme living entity. Narayan exists eternally and breathes eternally, and therefore Dharma, the injunctions of Narayan, also exist eternally. So what Prabhupada is trying to help us understand, it's not that at one point of time that Dharma is created. No. Since it's the word of God, God exists eternally, Narayan is existing eternally, the Vedas are coming from his breathing, so the Vedas exist eternally. Srila Madhvacharya, the original Acharya, for those who belong to the Madhav Gaudiya Sampradaya, says, so we are coming in this Brahma, coming in Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya. So Srila Madhvacharya is our Acharya, and he is saying, Vedanam Prathamo Vakta, Harir Eva Yato Vibhu, Ato Vishnu Atmaka Veda, Iti Ahur Veda Vadina. The transcendental words of the Vedas emanated from the mouth of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, the Vedic principles should be understood to be Vaishnava principles, because Vishnu is the origin of the Vedas. The Vedas contain nothing besides the instructions of Vishnu, and one who follows the Vedic principles is a Vaishnava. The Vaishnava is not a member of a manufactured community of this material world. A Vaishnava is a real knower of the Vedas, as confirmed in Bhagavad Gita, Vedascha Sarve Aham Eva Vedya. So Krishna says, Vedascha sarver aham eva vedya. By all the Vedas, I am to be known. And a Vaishnava, he knows Krishna. He's understood Krishna. So he's the real knower of the Vedas. This is, that brings us to the end of this purport. And then we go on to the next verse, text 41. Yena swadhamni amibhava.
Yena swadhamni
Swadhamni
amibhava
amibhava
Rajas sattva tamo maya.
raja sattvam
Rajasattva
maya
maya
Guna nama kriya ruper.
guna nama
Gunanama
kriya
kriya
rupe
rupe
Vibhav yante yatha tatham.
vibhavyante
Bhavyante
yatha
yatha
tatham.
tatham.
The supreme cause of all causes, Narayan, is situated in his own abode in the spiritual world, but nevertheless, he controls the entire cosmic manifestation according to the three modes of material nature, Sattvagun, Rajogun, and Tamogun. In this way, all living entities are awarded different qualities, different names, such as Brahmana, Kshatriya, and Vaishya, different duties according to the Varna Sharma institution, and different forms. Thus, Narayan is the cause of the entire cosmic manifestation. The Vedas inform us, Srila Prabhupada is mentioning in the purport, the Shrutashvatara Upanishad 6.8, na tasya karyam karanam cha vidyate, na tat samascha yadikascha drishyate, parasya shaktir vividheva shruyate, swabhaviki jnana balakriya cha. Narayan, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is almighty, omnipotent. He has multifarious energies, and therefore, he is able to remain in his own abode and without endeavor, supervise and manipulate the entire cosmic manifestation through the interaction of the three modes of material nature, Sattvagun, Rajogun, and Tamogun. So Narayan, although he is there in his own abode, in the spiritual world, he's also controlling the material world. And how is he controlling the material world?
By the sattvagun, rajagun, and tamogun.
Yeah, by these modes of nature. So someone may say, oh, well, how can God be in the spiritual world and how is he controlling the material world through these energies, through these modes? So we can understand, that there is a big boss of a big company. He doesn't have to be personally present in all his branch offices. He may have so many branch offices. The work goes on, and he may be sitting in his own office or in his own home. But through his organization, through his management, the work is going on. So if a common human being can do that, then what to speak of God? Why God can't do it? He is omnipotent after all. He has so many energies. These interactions create different forms, bodies, activities, and changes, which all occur perfectly. Because the Lord is perfect, everything works as if He were directly supervising and taking part in it. We can see that how the material creation is very perfect, actually. Everything is in order. When the sun has to rise, when it has to set, what's the distance of the sun going to be from the earth, from every other planet. Is everything very perfect. Krishna is perfect, so his management is also perfect. Atheistic men, however, being covered by the three modes of material nature, cannot see Narayan to be the supreme cause behind all activities. As Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita 7.13, Tribhir gunamayir bhave, ebihi sarvam idam jagat, mohitam na bijanati mam ebhaya param avyayam. deluded by the three modes. The whole world does not know me, who am above the modes and inexhaustible. So, many people don't know that this world is created by God, that God is the creator. We just get so engrossed in the creation, we get so enamored by the creation that we forget to ask who is the creator. So this illusion is being caused by the three modes. Because unintelligent agnostics are mohita, illusioned by the three modes of material nature, they cannot understand that Narayan, Krishna, is the supreme cause of all activities. So even Kunti Devi, she says, that in her prayers to Krishna, he's like, covered by this curtain of Maya, so we can't see him. But he is the creator. He's behind all this creation. As stated in Brahma Samhita 5.1, Ishvara Parama Krishna, Sachid Ananda Vigraha, Adir Govinda, Sarva Karana Karanam. Krishna, who is known as Govinda, is the supreme controller. He has an eternal, blissful spiritual body. He is the origin of all. He has no other origin, for he is the prime cause of all causes. So Prabhupada here is giving us the quotation by Lord Brahma, the prayer by Lord Brahma in Brahma Samhita, where Lord Brahma is saying that Krishna is the cause of all causes, Govinda is the cause of all causes, and that his form is Satchid Ananda, eternal, full of bliss and full of knowledge. His form is not material. Some people may mistakenly think that when God comes, he takes a material body, but no, God never takes a material body. His form is always transcendental. Suryogni kham marudeva.
Suryo Agni Deva.
Soma Sandhya Nidishaha.
Soma
Soma
Sandhya Agni
Sandhya
Disha.
Disha.
Kamku Swayam Dharma iti.
Kampu
Kamku
Swayam
Swayam
Dharma
Dharma
Iti.
Iti.
Ki ete de yasya sakshina.
Ki ete de tasya sakshina.
The sun, fire, sky, air, demigods, moon, evening, day, night, directions, water, land, and Supersoul himself all witness the activities of the living entity. So we can see how many witnesses are there. We are thinking there is no witness to our activity. Sun, fire, sky, air, demigods, moon, evening, day, night, directions, water, land, and Supersoul. The members of some religious sects, especially Christians, do not believe in the reactions of karma. We once had a discussion with a learned Christian professor who argued that although people are generally punished after the witnesses of their misdeeds are examined, where are the witnesses responsible for one's suffering the reactions of past karma? To such a person, the answer by the Yamadutas is given here. A conditioned soul thinks that he is working steadily and that no one can see his sinful activities. But we can understand from the Shastras that there are many witnesses, including the sun, fire, sky, air, moon, demigods, evening, day, night, directions, water, land, and the Supersoul himself, who sits with the individual soul within his heart. Where is the dearth of witnesses? So, when somebody is being tried in the court of Yamraj, so we may tell Yamraj, oh, yeah, but nobody was there. How can you say that this happened? My Lord, how can you say? And then he can say, here, this is the evidence. because there's so many individuals witnessing, and the main is the Paramatma. The witnesses and the Supreme Lord both exist, and therefore so many living entities are elevated to higher planetary systems or degraded to lower planetary systems, including the hellish planets. There are no discrepancies, for everything is arranged perfectly by the management of the Supreme God. Swabha Vikijnana Balakriya Cha. The witnesses mentioned in this verse are also mentioned in the other Vedic literatures. So, we may be able to buy the witnesses here and get away from the material court, but we cannot bribe these witnesses who are witnessing our actions. Aditya Chandra Vanilo Nalascha Dhyayur Apo Hridayam Yamascha Ahascha Ratrischa Ubecha Sandhye Dharmo Pijanati Narasya Vritam. So the Yamdutas are saying that they are all these witnesses who are present. Eter adharma vigyata.
Ete
Ete
adharma
adharma
vigyata.
vigyata.
Thanam dandasya yujyate.
Sthanam
Sthanam
dandasya
dandasya
yujyate.
yujyate.
Sarve karmanu rodena.
Sarve
Sarve
karma
karma
anurodhena.
anurodhena.
Dandam arhanti karinaha.
Dandam
Dandam
arhanti
arhanti
karina.
karinaha.
The candidates for punishment are those who are confirmed by these many witnesses to have deviated from their prescribed regulative duties. Everyone engaged in fruitive activities is suitable to be subjected to punishment according to his sinful acts. So because the Vishnudutas asked, so now the Yamadutas are saying, oh, what is the criteria? Sambhavanti hi badrani.
Sambhavanti hi
Sambhavanti
bhadrani.
Viparitani chanagaha.
Vipritani chanagaha.
viparityanagaha.
Karinam guna sangoste.
Karinam
Karinam guna
sangosti.
sangosti.
Dehavan nahi akarmakrit.
Dehevan nahi
Dehavan hi
akarmakrit.
akarmakrit.
O inhabitants of Vaikuntha, you are sinless. But those within this material world are all karmis, whether acting piously or impiously. Both kinds of action are possible for them because they are contaminated by the three modes of nature and must act accordingly. Though one who has accepted a material body cannot be inactive, and sinful action is inevitable for one acting under the modes of material nature. Therefore, all the living entities within this material world are punishable. So the Yamadutas, their argument is that everyone is under the modes of nature. So everyone is committing sins. The difference between human beings and non-human beings is that a human is supposed to act according to the direction of the Vedas. Unfortunately, men manufacture their own ways of acting without reference to the Vedas. Therefore, all of them commit sinful actions and are punishable. So this is what the Yamadutas, in their favor, they are supporting by this argument that why they have come to take Ajāmila. Yena yavan yatha dharmo.
Yena yavan
Yavan
yatha
yatha
dharmo.
dharmo.
Dharmo veha samihitaha.
Dharmo
Dharmo
veha
veha
samihita.
samihitaha.
Sa eva tat phalam bhunte.
Sa
Sa
eva tat
eva tat
phalam
phalam
bhunte.
bhunte.
Tatha tavat amutrave.
Tatha
Tatha
tavat
tavat
amutrave.
amutrave.
In proportion to the extent of one's religious or irreligious actions in this life, one must enjoy or suffer the corresponding reactions of his karma in the next. As stated in Bhagavad Gita 14.18, Urdhvam gachanti sattvastha, madhye tishthanti rajasa, Jaganya guna vritistha, adho gachanti tamasa. Those who act in the mode of goodness are promoted to higher planetary systems to become demigods. Those who act in an ordinary way and do not commit excessively sinful acts remain within this middle planetary system, and those who perform abominable sinful actions must go down to hellish life. So here Prabhupada is quoting Bhagavad Gita. Krishna is saying, how one acts, one gets the results. If one is acting piously, one will go to the heavenly planets, become a demigod, live with the demigods. If one is acting in a, ordinary way, not too impious, not very pious, born in earthly planets. And if one is committing sinful activities, then going to the hellish planets. So this is the law of karma, how we, like every action is going to get some reaction. Yatheha deva pravaranas.
Yatha hi deva pravaranas
Traividyam upalabhyate.
traividyam
Traividyam
upalabhyate
upalabhyate
Bhuteshu guna vaichitryan.
bhuteshu guna vaichitrya
Tathan yatranumiyate.
tatha
Tani
anyat anumiyate.
pranayate.
O best of the demigods, we can see three different varieties of life which are due to the contamination of the three modes of nature. The living entities are thus known as peaceful, restless, and foolish, as happy, unhappy, or in between, or as religious, irreligious, and semi-religious. We can deduce that in the next life, these three kinds of material nature will similarly act. The actions and reactions of the three modes of material nature are visible in this life. For example, some people are very happy, some are very distressed, and some are in mixed happiness and distress. This is the result of past association with the modes of material nature, goodness, passion, and ignorance. Since these varieties are visible in this life, we may assume that the living entities, according to their association with the different modes of material nature, will be happy, distressed, or between the two in their next lives also. So what the Yamadutas are saying, that as the modes are affecting us right now in the present, so the modes will continue to affect us in our future too. Goodness is leading to happiness, and then passion is mixed, and then ignorance is completely distressed, right? So as we are experiencing it now, then in the future also we will experience because of the modes. Therefore, the best policy is to disassociate oneself from the three modes of material nature and be always transcendental to their contamination. So Prabhupada then is pointing out that if, the modes are causing this, then one should try to rise above the modes so that one can always be happy. This is possible only when one fully engages in the devotional service of the Lord. As Krishna confirms in Bhagavad Gita 14.26, Mamcha yogya vicharena bhakti yogena sevate sagunan samityaitan brahma bhuyaya kalpate. One who engages in full devotional service, who does not fall down under any circumstance, at once transcends the modes of material nature and thus comes to the spiritual platform. So the modes are what are troubling us. So Krishna is saying, rise above the modes. And how one can rise above the modes is by engaging in devotional service. Unless one is fully absorbed in the service of the Lord, one is subject to the contamination of the three modes of material nature and must therefore suffer from distress or mixed happiness and distress. So devotional service helps us get free from the modes. We are tightly bound by the modes. Vartamano nyayo kalo.
Vartamano anyo kalo.
Gunabhigyapako yatha.
Gunabhigyapako yatha.
Evam janman yayor etad.
Evam janma annayo etad.
Dharma adharma nidarshanam.
Dharma adharma nidarshanam.
Just as springtime in the present indicates the nature of springtimes in the past and future, so this life of happiness, distress, or a mixture of both gives evidence concerning the religious and irreligious activities of one's past and future lives. Our past and future are not very difficult to understand, for time is under the contamination of the three modes of material nature. As soon as spring arrives, the usual exhibition of various types of fruits and flowers automatically becomes manifest. And therefore, we may conclude that spring in the past was adorned with similar fruits and flowers and will be so adorned in the future also. Our repetition of birth and death is taking place within time. And according to the influence of the modes of nature, we are receiving various types of bodies and being subjected to various conditions. So just as the springtime that we are experiencing right now, we can see how the weather is, how the fruits and flowers are blooming. So similarly, we can understand in the past also spring was like that, and in the future also spring will be like that. So our material life is full of happiness or mixed happiness and distress or distress. So as we are experiencing it in this life, means in the past lives also we have gone through these experiences. And in our future life also, we will also experience the same, because after all, we are controlled by the modes. And this happiness and distress, all this is coming by the modes. And so that's the reason Prabhupada put that verse that engage in devotional service to rise above the modes, because till the time we are controlled by the modes, this cycle of happiness, distress, and mixed happiness and distress will keep on going on. Questions, comments?
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, today's reading was so much relating to Shivratri today, because we can see, the purest Vaishnav, Lord Shiva, how he's so devoted all the time. So he's inspiring us to keep chanting, keep meditating, and not get into this cyclical life, spirally rise instead, stay in that consciousness all the time. Yeah.
Very nice. Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Over there is today, right? Shivratri.
Yes.
Tomorrow.
Today
Yes. Wishing you all a happy Shivratri.
Yes. Happy
Wishing you
Mahashivratri.
a very,
Yeah.
very happy Mahashivratri.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, he's known
Actually,
as Vaishnavanam Yatha Shambho. Right?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Beautiful. I mean, perfect day to perfectly, get that knowledge. Yeah. So we can stay guided, this way when we keep chanting and meditating. So just follow that. Yeah. So I have to leave now. Sorry. So I'll be taking all of yours leaves. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you for joining.
Hare
Deepika. Hare Krishna.
I just have this one question for the clarity, Shilpaji, that in the 43rd one, it is written that यह भौतिक प्रकृति के गुण सतो रजो तथा तमो गुण के साथ विगत संगति का परिणाम है. So what they are trying to say here is that how we are in the modes now, then that's where we get the next future body. Or is it also means that ye chakra chalta rehta hai? Is it or does it mean both the things?
Both.
Both, right? It means both the
Yeah.
things, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
both.
Okay.
Yeah, because how we are acting in the modes, that's how we are preparing our future body.
Okay.
Then we
Yes.
are also going to be, with those modes again in the future. So the cycle goes on.
Okay. Yes. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Manas
And
seva pure. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I'm just
No.
wondering, like the Yamadutas, they are so knowledgeable, like the way they are speaking, or like,
They
you
have
know,
to
according
be,
to in conjunction to the Vedas, they are speaking, like, you know, right?
Yeah, because they are, after all, the servants of Dharmaraj,
Yamraj. Yes.
right?
So much,
Yeah.
you know.
But we are going to hear now what the Vishnu Dutas are going to say. So it's like very interesting, you know. It gets more interesting. And Ajāmila he's hearing all this, huh? He's hearing because
Between the
he's not yet dead.
Yamadutas and Vishnu Dutas,
Yeah,
right? What
he's
they're saying.
hearing the conversation. Yeah.
And sorry,
Yes.
Hare Krishna, I just wanted to also tell you that in the ISKCON calendar, the Shivratri is not today. It is tomorrow.
Oh, is it?
Yes.
Really?
Yes, because in the
Oh.
ISKCON calendar, it is tomorrow, and the reason is that if you break your fast today, because everybody is doing Ekadashi, and if we break that fast, that means we are also going to break our Shivratri fast. So that's why it is already written in, because the morning, it will be in the morning. Today morning, right now, it is no Shivratri. It hasn't started yet.
Oh.
So it is not today in ISKCON calendar, it is tomorrow. So I'm just telling, if you're following the ISKCON calendar, it's tomorrow, not today. So today is no Shivratri. It's tomorrow. People are doing both the days. Yes, you can. But they have sent a detailed video that you better do it tomorrow. So they are doing it tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
in the
some
ISKCON calendar.
technicality.
Yeah, some
I guess
technicalities
some
that they do it now.
technicality. But
Yeah, just for the clarification that everybody should
Yeah.
know that there's the difference. So they are doing
But
it
I do
tomorrow.
know that many people are celebrating on the
Yes.
8th. Like over here also, it's on the 8th.
Yes, a lot of people are celebrating on 8th. So that is not the thing, but I'm just telling that in Taiwan, the calendar mentions tomorrow.
Okay, thank you.
But in Panama, the ISKCON, they're celebrating on the 8th.
I haven't, well, ISKCON does not have, it does not have any formal celebration. But in the Hindu temple in Cologne, it's tomorrow.
Yeah.
Also on the 8th. In the Hindu temple here, it's in the...
Yeah, even here in the IIT, Mandar, it's today.
And of course, the devotees, like for example, in Mayapur, in the Jagannath temple, there is Lord Shiva, there's a Shivlung there. So the devotees, they do go there, they do celebrate Shivratri. I'm not sure on which day they're going there, though. In Mayapur, they do have that. So the devotees over there do celebrate, and they celebrate nicely. And of course, the prayer to Lord Shiva is always that as you are so devoted to Lord Krishna, kindly also give me devotion to Krishna. And we can pray to Lord Shiva to also take away our false ego, because he's the Lord of the false ego. So we can pray to him to help us take away our false ego, give us devotion, as he's such a perfect devotee, to give us also devotion to Lord Krishna.
Right.
And to bring under your notice, if Shilpaji, you are playing the Mayapur Aartis, when you're playing it, can you see all the Vaishnavas there? the great.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because they came for the function and they are still there. So
Yeah. But
during
also they are collecting during this time usually for the
okay,
pre-Gaur Purnima every year.
okay. So there are so
Like,
many right now. You could
yeah.
see so many of them, and
Yeah.
all the
It's
great Vaishnavas are there. They are in
every
all the
year.
aartis.
Every year. Yeah,
Okay,
every year.
every year. But
Because the Gaur
we are
Purnima
fortunate.
festival is going on. Yeah.
Okay, so they come for that. No, but then I
Yeah.
think we are so fortunate that you're showing us. So I'm really thankful to you that you're you're sharing that aarti every day, and we are able to take their darshan as well, because they are very, very exalted devotees.
True.
Very
They are.
exalted.
They're
They
true.
are.
Also, I wanted to tell you, Shravan Utsav is going on. If you all have time, try to listen into it. It's very beautiful. Shravan on Mayapur TV. You can hear it on Mayapur TV, Shravan Utsav. The recordings are there of the
Okay.
past few days. I think it just finished, and now, in fact, the Kirtan Mela is starting.
Okay.
So, but the recordings are all there, and if you all have the time, you all can hear, and they're really nice. Really nice.
And I just wanted to ask you one thing more. The Sheshnag behind Narsimha Dev is changed. So is it the new one or the?
I'm not sure. I
Okay,
don't know.
can you please check? Because in the previous one, it always used to be black. Now it's become golden.
Isn't it the same? I can check. I can
Please
check.
check. It isn't the same. It has become golden, and previously it
really?
used to be black. So if there is any difference, can you please explain that also?
Sure.
Yeah.
I'll
Thank you. Yeah.
Okay, so I guess you'll stop here then.
We have 5 minutes. 3 minutes. I think we can finish this one if you want. It's a small one.
Okay, let's try to do it then.
Hare Krishna.
Manaseva Pure Deva.
Manaseva Pure Deva.
Purva Rupam Vipashyate.
Purva Rupam Vipashyati.
Anumimam Sate Purvam.
Anumam Sam Sati Apurvam.
Manasa Bhagavan Ajaha.
Manasa Bhagavan
Ajaha.
The omnipotent Yamraj is as good as Lord Brahma, for while situated in his own abode or in everyone's heart, like the Paramatma, he mentally observes the past activities of a living entity and thus understands how the living entity will act in future lives. One should not consider Yamaraj an ordinary living being. He is as good as Lord Brahma. He has the complete cooperation of the Supreme Lord, who is situated in everyone's heart. And therefore, by the grace of the Super Soul, he can see the past, present, and future of a living being from within. So he has the software. I was just hearing Radhanath Maharaj was speaking that Yamraj, he has this software, where he's recorded all these activities. And know, even how great a hacker one is, one cannot delete that. The records are there. But one who surrenders to Krishna, then everything is deleted. So the word Anumimamsate means that he can decide in consultation with the Super Soul. Anu means following. The actual decisions concerning the next lives of the living entities are made by the Super Soul, and they're carried out by Yamaraj. So the actual decisions are made by Paramatma, and the decision is carried out by Yamraj. So Yamraj is having this, he is able to speak to the Paramatma. He's able to understand what the Paramatma is saying and seeing and witnessing. So that's what Prabhupada is saying. He's not an ordinary personality. He's a great personality. It's not an ordinary living being. So we'll stop here.
Yeah.
Continue to read tomorrow. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Hare Krishna.